right? And I value it is getting from this equation, and you have to cross verify that B and C over here, right? What is B, what is C1, and what is B and A, C2, right? So moment is simply the load into perpendicular distance. Yeah, to calculate this, so look at this. This is the T section which is given in the reverse direction, but in our problem it is given in the this direction, right? Don't worry about that. So only thing is you need to look at that from the top of the flange to the neutral axis. What is that? C1. Same thing. This is the top of the flange to the neutral axis. I have taken C1. Don't interchange this. Even if you reverse the direction, so this dimension remains same. The C1 is from top of the flange to the neutral axis, and C2 is from the bottom of the web to the neutral axis. Bottom of the web to the neutral axis. Clear? Yeah, C1, to calculate C1, AH square, look at this, BD square plus 2 into H plus BD. So what is A? The width of the flange. Yeah, look at this. What is that? Width of the web. It is 40. And H is, I think H is overall depth. Compare this dimension with this figure. It's overall depth. Overall depth is 100 plus 40, 140 square. Plus BD square. What is B? Look at this. Look at this figure carefully. This is B by 2. And this is B by 2. Total it is B. B by 2 plus B by 2 is B. That is B minus A will get the B by 2. That is 100 minus 40. Remaining is 30, 30, 60. Will be the B. D is what? Look at this D. Depth of the flange. How much it is? D is 40. Depth of the flange 40 square. Same thing, 2 into H, 40 into 140 plus B into D, 60 into 40. And C1 is 75 mm. That is distance of the neutral axis from the top fiber is 55 mm. And distance of the C2 is from the bottom fiber, it is overall depth 140 minus 55. Here it is 85 mm. So we got C1 and C2. C1 and C2. Next we can calculate, we need to calculate I value. I value which is given by BC1 cube minus BH cube plus AC2 cube by 3. So substitute all the values, you will getting I value. The unit of I is millimeter to the power of 4. Clear? And coming to the moment. So we got I and C. We got I and C. We need to calculate moment. To calculate the moment, again I will go through the figure. To calculate the moment, I need to understand the figure. The moment means what? The load into perpendicular distance. What is the perpendicular distance? From the loading axis to the neutral axis. Clear? We got the neutral axis for the section. On neutral axis in the loading axis gain distance. That is the distance. This is the load. Moment is given by load into perpendicular distance. There is a distance from the loading axis to the neutral axis. So ನಮಗೆ neutral axis in the top fiber ಗೆ C1 55 ಅಂತ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. The neutral axis in the top fiber ಗೆ 55 plus from top fiber to loading axis is 150. 150 plus 55 will give the distance from loading axis to the neutral axis. Is it clear here the moment? Moment ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's simple thing. Load ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಇಂದ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಇಂಟು ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ದೇರ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅದು? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಫೈಬರ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 55. 55 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಟಾಪ್ ಇಂದ ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಗೆ 150 ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಸ್. We got the moment. So we know that we have calculated C1, C2 and moment. Look at this load into perpendicular distance. I told you that 150 from loading axis to the top fiber to the neutral axis is 55. Is it clear? Distance from neutral axis to the loading axis. You got the moment 16.4 into 10 to the power of 6 Newton into mm. Yeah, what happens? So when the member is subjected to like this, the bending, the top surface of that will undergo expansion. Look at this. If I take this member, it's just like this, and bottom will like that, it will expand like this. It will expand like this means the top surface will undergo expansion and bottom of the fiber will be subjected to the compression. Yeah, the top will undergo tensile and bottom will undergo compression, right? That means if I take the neutral axis means the stress along that axis is zero. Above the neutral axis, the member is subjected to either tensile or compression. Below the neutral axis, either it's subjected to the tensile or compression. In this problem, due to this load, the top will undergo tensile and bottom will undergo compression. Right? The top will undergo tensile and bottom will undergo compression. Right? The moment of inertia, you know it. Yeah, look at that. So the stress on the bending stress will be of two types. One will be the tensile on the top and compression on the bottom. So we need to find out the bending stress at the top and bottom. So we know the equation M by I into C. So I want the stress at the top fiber, which is tensile. So for that M is remain same. I also remain same. Only thing is instead of C, we need to take C1 and C2. So I'm finding the stress at the top fiber. So that C is distance from top fiber to neutral axis. It is C1. C1 value is known. 55 substitute, you're getting that the positive because it is tensile at the top. Is it clear? To find out the stress at the top fiber, you need to know that. So what type of stress will be developed at top and bottom? Due to the loading condition, the top will undergo tensile and bottom will undergo compression. So to find out the stress at the top fiber, M by I into C. What C we need to take? The top fiber in the neutral axis distance. What is that? C1. So we get top fiber stress, that is sigma B, the plus the tensile. Same thing at bottom fiber, the equation remains same. M is same, I is also same. Multiplied with, for bottom means neutral axis in the bottom fiber, that is C2. It's 85 mm. So we need to take that negative because of compression. So getting around 102.04 Newton per mm square. Clear? Next, this is the combined load, that is direct stress will be developed and bending stress will be developed. So we need to find out the resultant stress. How to calculate that? It is the summation of direct plus bending. Right? Both the stress will be along x direction, so that we need to take the summation of that. Direct stress already sikki there. So for that bending stress, you need to take the top fiber. The resultant stress at the top fiber, direct stress plus bending stress at the top fiber. Add that, you are getting this at top fiber. Coming to the resultant stress at the bottom fiber, we need to take this is sigma RB. Yeah, careful, sigma RB. The direct stress plus bending stress. But at the bottom fiber, bending stress is not positive, it is negative. Minus sigma BB. That is, direct stress is 10, bending stress is negative 102.04, so the resultant stress is negative at bottom fiber. Clear? Direct stress you can calculate directly. Once you calculate the bending stress at top and bottom fiber. If direct stress is there, you need to add both to find out the resultant stress. So this is just a summation of direct stress plus bending. Add this to, you are getting the resultant at top fiber. So you take the bending stress at top, which is tensile. The resultant stress at the bottom fiber, which is given by direct stress plus bending. The bending means here it is at the bottom negative. Take negative 10 minus that. You are getting the stress at the bottom fiber. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If you have any doubts, you can raise it again because I have explained it once again. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Can I go with the next problem?
Yes, sir.
Pramodini has left the meeting. Yeah, I will go with the next problem. Yeah, next problem is somewhat all the problems. The main thing will be it's based on the type of load and cross section. So ಮೂರೇ ಲೋಡ್ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೋಡ್, ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟಾರ್ಷನಲ್ ಲೋಡ್. ಆ ಮೂರು ಲೋಡ್ನು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾವ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಟ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಯಲ್ ಲೋಡ್ only, where it is having bending load only, where it is having torsional load only, and combination of two, axial and bending, bending and torsion, bending and torsion, and axial and torsion. Clear? So I will take a simple example where the member is subjected to axial only, the bending only, torsion only, and then I will go with the combination of two, axial and bending, bending and torsion, and axial and torsion. Finally, I will go with combination of all the three. So that if you understand this basic problem, then all the problems will be very easy. Yeah, look at this. I will take a simple problem. The same data will be remain same for 6 cases. What I told, the first one is only axial, the second one is bending and torsion. Combination of axial and bending and torsion, and axial and torsion. Lastly, all the three. Total 6 cases. So I will take a same data, diameter is same, length is same. So I will explain you how to solve if the different combination of load is given. Look at this. A machine member 50 mm diameter, 50 mm diameter is given by 250 mm long and supported at one end. This is cantilever beam is given, right? Will be used to demonstrate how numerical tensile, compression and shear force are determined for various types of uniaxial loading. Is it clear? The diameter is given, length is given, the cantilever beam is given. So in the examination they may give simply supported beam. Don't need to worry for that, right? So for each and every type of beam, the equations will be available in data handbook. Only thing is you need to analyze what type of load and what is the cross section. So I have taken the pi of 50 means circular cross section. What is the type of load? Can any of you tell me that what is the type of load?
Tensile load.
Yeah, tensile load. Good. It's what type of stress will be developed? Direct, bending, or shear?
Direct.
What type of stress will be developed? There will be 3 types of stress here. Axial, that is direct stress, bending stress, and shear stress.
Axial stress.
Axial stress. Shear stress.
No, yes, it's not shear stress, it's only the axial stress. Look at the load. Load will be acting parallel to the axis of the member. If it is acting parallel to the axis of the member, only axial stress or direct stress will be developed. If the load is acting perpendicular to the member, just like this, in the vertical direction, the bending stress will be developed. If the torsional load will be acting, shear stress will be developed. Clear? Yeah, for this, the direct load is given, only the direct stress will be developed. So that calculate area, pi by 450 square. So you get the area, and directly we can calculate direct stress. Direct stress is nothing but x-axis stress, which is given by load by area. Load is 15 to 10 power of 3. Area is known, we're getting direct stress, which is tensile, the positive, Newton per mm square. Got direct stress. Yeah, look at that. We know that uniaxial force over there. What about the condition in uniaxial stress? Sigma x will become equal to sigma 1. Clear? Can I want to go to the data and book them now? Yeah, look at here. That is the reason I told you you need to refer the data and book. The problem will get simplified. And already figure first class alle ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. Bending load, direct load and torsional load. bending load and torsional load, direct bending and torsional load. I'm going to solve by taking the combination of this. What I told, look at this uniaxial stress. Uniaxial stress means stress will be acting only along one direction. This is our problem now. Only one stress will be acting along x direction. For that, sigma n beta, tau beta, namage here required is principal stress. We need to calculate principal stress. What is the principal stress? Sigma 1 is equal to sigma x. And tau maximum is equal to sigma 1 by 2. Clear? The equation is available for uniaxial. The maximum principal stress will become equal to sigma x. So, and tau maximum will become sigma 1 by 2. That is our condition. For uniaxial, we got sigma x. This sigma x will become equal to sigma 1 for uniaxial force. So that maximum principal stress sigma 1 becomes sigma x. That is same. So I have shown it in the data handbook. And minimum sigma 2 is 0 because there is no y direction stress. So that sigma 2 minimum principal stress will become equal to 0. Maximum shear stress will be given by sigma 1 by 2. Here it is 7.639 by 2, 3.82 Newton per meter. This is the simple problem to demonstrate only the axial load. Is it clear here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Load. That is uniaxial force. In that case, the maximum principal stress becomes equal to this. And tau maximum is sigma 1 by 2. This equation is available in data handbook. So don't expect this type of problem in the examination. In the exam, they make you combination of two loads. I will go with second case. Look at this. So same cross section, same length. Instead of axial load, what is the type of load is given? Transverse
Torsional.
load. Clear?
Bending load.
Yeah, bending load. Good. When it is subjected to transverse load, it undergo bending. Just like this. Look at this. If I apply the load, the bending will occur. Can you able to see this? Yeah, this is the member.
Yes, sir.
I'm holding it here. If you apply the load like this, look at this, what happens here? It will undergo bending. Top will undergo expansion and bottom will undergo contraction. Look at this. It's just like this. If I apply the load like this, top will undergo expansion and bottom will undergo compression. You look at this. When this load is acting, so again, I for circular cross section, which is pi d to the power of 464. Again, it's a very simple equation. Even if you don't remember the moment of inertia equation, I told you that. So look at this. At each and every time, you need to refer the data handbook. If you are not strong enough in memorizing the equation, look at this. In the examination, you have to roam here and there, right? Right. This is our moment of inertia. For rectangle is there, I and T is there. Can you able to see the data handbook?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Look at this. The various section will be there. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ exam ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. Exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ ಕೊಡೋದೇ ನಿಮಗೆ rectangle, I, T, and lastly the circular. Sometimes the trapezoidal will be given. Right. Look at the circular. The moment of inertia, the pi d to the power of 4 by 64. And the C value is also known. Everything will be available in data handbook. No need to worry. Only thing is you need to analyze type of load, cross-section area. That is the main in the first module. All other parameters, equations will be available in data handbook. Look at this I value. That is what I have shown here. The I value, take it from the table. What is the table number? Just note on the table number 1.3a. If you are sitting over there, just note down the table number 1.3a for the properties of various cross-section, the moment of inertia and C. Table 1.3a. This equation is available in table 1.3a. Then, due to this is only bending stress, there is no axial, there is no torsion, only bending load. M by I into C. What is M? I told you that distance from loading axis. Yeah, distance here. Look at this in the beam. So bending moment means load into perpendicular distance. The load is there. At this point, the bending moment is zero because load in the distance is zero. As the distance increases, the moment will be maximum. And at this point, the moment is maximum. It is load into distance is maximum, so that moment is maximum. 3 kilonewton into 250 gives the maximum moment. 3 into 10 to the power of 3 load into perpendicular distance 250 will give the moment. Clear? I value pi d to the power of 4 by 64, which is available in data handbook, and it's very easy to remember. D is 50, pi d to the power of 4 by 64 into, look at this C. C value also is the distance from neutral axis to top. Look, if I take the neutral axis, it's symmetric. Then C is nothing but C1 by C2. C1 is equal to C2 because symmetric. It's H by 2 or D by 2, 50 by 2. Or else, it is available in data book. Look at this. C value. This is the third column is C. Yeah, the C is given by, look at this symmetric. C is given by D by 2. Clear? Yeah, to calculate the bending stress, moment is given, load into perpendicular distance, and I is given, it is available in data handbook. C is also available in data handbook, or simply for symmetric half of the depth, 25. You will get bending stress. So what about the bending stress? I told you that the bending stress along neutral axis is zero, at top or bottom, where it is tensile and where it is compression. That is the only thing you need to analyze. All these equations, look at this one. You see the movement, you know it. So everything will be available in data handbook. Only thing is you need to analyze it. Look at this. When you apply the load like this, it will undergo expansion like this, just like a book. If you take a book, if I apply the load, it will undergo deformation like this. Top will be tensile, bottom will be compression. Clear? This is the main thing we need to analyze at the end. If the problem appeared for 10 marks, up to here you may get 5 marks. Remaining 5 marks for this to analyze and find out the final stress. So what happens? This bending stress magnitude is same, but at top it is positive at point A. Look at this. But at bottom it is negative. Because this C value is symmetric. C is symmetric, then the C1 and C2 remain same. The bending stress at top and bottom is same. If it is not symmetric, it is section ittu. C1 and C2. To find out the bending stress at top, at point A, M by I into C1. To find out the bending stress at the bottom, M by I into C2. Here it is C1 and C2 are symmetric. So sigma BT and sigma BB at top and bottom remains same. But the sign will be positive at the top and negative at the bottom. Yeah. Once you got that, we need to find out x-axis stress. What is that? Direct stress plus bending stress. Here the direct stress is 0. Sigma x will become directly bending stress. 61.11 Newton per mm square. Yeah, at top and bottom. The maximum principal stress, sigma 1 will become sigma x because it's uniaxial. Only one stress will be present. There is no shear stress and y-axis stress. So that uniaxial andre 1 will become x, 61.11. 2 will be 0 at point A. At point B, the sigma 1 will become sigma x, it is 0. And sigma 2 will become sigma B, that is negative compression. Minus 61.11 Newton per mm square. Ili sigma 1 in the reason is the maximum is the highest value. Here it is getting negative. 0 is higher value than this minus. Clear? So that sigma 1 is taken 0. Sigma 2 will become minus 61.11 Newton per mm square at point B. I will stop it over here. The term maximum is given by sigma 1 by 2. I will stop it over here. Next class I will go with the torsion and the combination of axial and bending. Okay, this is a problem will be appeared in the examination. Combination of axial and torsion, which will be appeared for 14 marks. Lastly, bending and torsion, and lastly combination of all the three. Now I will continue in the next class. And just